Okay, we don't want to talk about methods. We want to talk about anti-derivative. So in your mind, first thing, what must you think? You think about differentiation. Okay, we think about differentiation of ln, correct? So in your mind, you have this thought that if I have y equal to a ln fx, so what will the structure be of the dy dx? Isn't it this form? Some sort like this form? Do you see the degree of denominator is 3, but the degree of the numerator is 2? Isn't it when you differentiate ln, you got this? And up here is f prime x. Am I right? Hello? So how are you going to find the integral of this? As what I taught you yesterday, think of differentiation. So how are you going to start? First step, second step, then third step. Okay, first step, what must you write? Y equal to what? You want this, am I right? So which part is your fx? The bottom or the top? Yeah, the bottom. So my a is, I don't just put a, I just put 1. So I just put ln, my fx is 1 minus x cubed. So you see, when you learn maths, you relate. So you don't have to depend on people when you come to formula. You don't need people to teach you the method. You can create the method for yourself. If you understand, integration is the inverse of differentiation. Okay, so next step, second step, what must you do? Please do it. Okay, your second step will be your dy dx. So anti-differentiation for integration is very important. So you get your fx is 1 minus x cubed. So this one is negative 3x squared. Am I right? So third step. Third step. So what do? I will say if I integrate negative 3x squared over 1 minus x cubed dx, what do I get? What do I get? I know the answer. That is my y, which is ln 1 minus x cubed. Am I right? So then what do you mean by negative 3x squared over 1 minus x squared? It means negative 3 times of this. Is equal to ln 1 minus x squared. Am I right? So what I want this. So I make a conclusion, therefore, integral of x squared over 1 minus x cubed dx is equal to negative 1/3 ln modulus 1 minus x cubed, then plus c. You see? So I don't need people to tell me the method to use. If I know, if I differentiate ln, what will I get? So I look at the form and decide how should my integral be. Isn't it? So I have to recognize what should I let my y be. So I have to recognize what are the things supposed to be in the ln for this case. So these are all decision making. So when you learn maths, you prefer people to give you methods of how to do it, and you yourself don't want to find the methods of doing it, means we are training you to become a person who don't know how to make decision for yourself. Do you know that? That is the problem of all the maths teacher and also include me. Last time I'm like that. Then I realized that the young people nowadays, why they can't make decision? When we ask them some opinion, they can't give us the opinion. It's what happened. It's me who didn't teach you how to make decision. Always just give you, you follow this method, you will get this answer. So if I don't give you the method, can you solve? You can't. So whenever my student cannot do anything, I always come back to myself. Am I giving you, am I educate you in the right way? So that's why for this question, I don't want to teach you the substitution method. You don't have to know substitution method. So I'm going to show you what do you mean by substitution method. Okay, listen here. I'm going to show you the substitution method, whereby last time is in the textbook. So you don't say that says cannot set this out of question, although substitution method is not in the syllabus, because you know what is integration in relation to differentiation. So you have no right to say that my teacher didn't teach me substitution, so my teacher didn't do her part. I teach you the meaning of integration, that is antiderivative. Okay, so now I'm going to use this question. I teach you the substitution method. I'm going to put here. So let you compare. See whether the method is the same or not. Okay, so now for substitution method, we look at here. So how we choose, we will let. So now you have to learn how to choose. Let u be what? Okay, if now I ask you, what will you let u be? 1 over x cubed or x squared? Now you know it is, because you know the form. If I straight away teach substitution method, I tell you, let u be 1 over x cubed. So you don't know the meaning. Why must I let u be 1 over x cubed? Okay. So I want to substitute, correct? So when I substitute in, I have x squared over u dx. You look at here. Here is u, here is dx, and here is x. So I cannot integrate because different variable. So I have to think of a way to substitute dx with du. So what to do? What to do? So you see, every step you take, you have to know what is it going on. So what to do? So I take this and I differentiate u with respect to x. Am I right? So you look at here. If I rearrange this, isn't it now I can substitute x squared dx with negative 1/3 du. Am I right? So now I substitute in. So now all in variable u. Am I right? So next step. Do you know how to integrate this? It's linear, am I right? It's 1 over, correct? So you will get so now I substitute back the u with x. So I got the answer. So if you understand the meaning of integration as antiderivative, you will know how to do substitution method. So I ask you, if I do the one in black, the one on the right, isn't it that is also a substitution method? Correct? So if a student give me the answer of first step, second step, third step, and the student give me the answer of substitution, do you think which one will give me a better one? The thinking of the student. Which one is better? Definitely is this one, because you see relationship. It communicates to people. What is the relationship between differentiation and integration? For the one in substitution method, you just substitute. Correct? You just follow the method. Actually, how much do you understand? I also don't know. You see or not? And last time when we are in high school, the substitution method, correct? We don't memorize like that. How we memorize things? We look for pattern. We look for our own pattern. Look, I'm going to show it to you. I can do this integration straight away. Okay, so don't pamper your mind. Let your mind move faster. So I memorize like that. If I have this, then my result will be correct. Am I right? Am I right? So now what am I going to create on top? I'm trying to create my top as my f prime x. So from here, I imagine my fx. So my f prime x should be negative 3x squared. But is there a negative 3x squared there? No. There is a 1. So I ask myself, 1 times what will give me, or I should say negative 3 times what? That will be better. Actually, both also can, okay? Negative 3, because here I got negative 3. So I ask myself, negative 3 multiplied by what will give me 1? Definitely is negative 1/3. So all these I work in here. So I make a modification here. Okay, I want the negative 3 to be at the numerator, correct? So I put here negative 3x squared. So down outside here, I must put negative 1/3. Okay, whenever you talk about maths, always maths teacher, we have this problem. We're very scared to confuse you. Actually, the more we confuse you, the more you think. So you won't get confused. Do you know that? So now I got this format already, correct? So now I will know the answer is negative 1/3 ln plus C. Done. So am I doing substitution method? Yes. I will show the examiner this and this at the side. So when you talk about substitution method, it doesn't mean that you have to let u be equal to 1 minus x cubed. You can have your own method, you can have your own way, as long as you communicate clearly. So that is where creativity comes. You get me? So I taught you, so you cannot say during the exam, you cannot say, Miss Do, you didn't teach us, because in the syllabus, there is no substitution method. But in the syllabus, there is a antiderivative meaning, correct? So I want to let you know, you have no right to tell me, because got students, I said this question before, they say, Miss Do, you didn't teach us. I say, where on earth I didn't teach you? You want to follow your tuition teacher to say substitution method, huh? You use substitution method, I won't mark you wrong. But I can set the question in such a way. I can set the question in such a way that say, using integration as anti-differentiation method and find the integral of the following. Can I? I can. You see or not? Okay. So clear, student? Okay. Let's try another question, just to test your understanding. Okay. Can you please find the integral of 1 over 2e to the power of x dx? I told you already, if you have this form, how should you look at it? Ln is fine, but this one is not. 1 over 2x is fine. So please do the changes. You have to modify this first before you can apply the formula. So a lot of things we have to bear in mind. When we look at a fraction whereby there is a number multiplied by a term. Am I right? So how should I read this? So you see, maths is a language. You must know how to read it to help you to solve the problem. So how do you read this? I read 1 over 2e to the power x as half times 1 over e to the power x. You have to read it like that. If you read it like this, if you straight away bring the whole thing up, it will be 2e to the power of x, the whole thing to the power -1. So you can't use, for this one, you integrate, you can't use this rule. You can't use this rule. The reason is because 2 also power -1. You see or not? So you can't use this rule. But if you turn it this form, then you can use this rule. This one is okay. You see the difference? So the way you look at the things. Hello? So you have to use the first one. You have to change it to the first one and get the answer. Please do that. And I have shown you for 1 over like 2x, correct? The ln, you can have 2 possible answers. That is different story. So our job here is to know in what situation I can read it like that. In what situation I have to read it in the first method. You have to make the decision. I can't decide for you. Hello? Clear? Okay. So the answer for this question is I take out the half, integrate 1 over e to the power x dx. So I have half, integrate e to the power -x dx. Right? So this will be half. Copy down the whole thing. Divide by the coefficient of x plus c. So it will be -1 over 2e to the power x plus c. Hello? So the concept is simple, but the types of question that we are going to ask you, you see, it's exactly like differentiation also. The way we change is exactly the same. Am I right? You have to learn how to modify it. Don't just copy. Don't just copy. Do you know the problem of copying? I set the question like this. I said, evaluate the following. Integrate 2 to -3 x squared 1 minus e to the power x to the power of 7 dx. So if I ask this question and I give only 1 mark, what will you do as a student? Sure got one question like that, huh? One part like that. So what will you do as a student? Now I can see all of you. I can see your action. I know whether you know how to do or don't know how to do. Okay, I have one take out her instrument already. You don't say, Mister, they teach you, I will teach you how to find the value of this using your GC. You see, that is the difference, my A+ student and non-A+ student. I'm observing you. You have to wait until I call you to take up. But the one no need. The moment I say 1 mark, no. So this is not initiative. You don't have to wait for people to tell you what to do. You automatically do it. You could cultivate the habit. I guarantee you, you become a better person. That is also my fault. I say what? Take out your graphic calculator. If I didn't say that, you don't take out. You see, my fault also. So this time I change. I won't say take out your graphic calculator. But what is the answer? By the way, today I forgot to my graphic calculator in my car. Yes, what is the answer? Those at the last row. Last row, can I know the answer? You have to follow, the top must be -3. The bottom must be 2. You cannot change the position. It's not from big to small. So you go to your graphic calculator, F, you go to math, select FNINT. Then you key in 2 here, -3 here. Then here you type in x squared 1 minus e to the power x to the power 7 dx. Then you put enter. The answer will come out. This is very user-friendly. It's exactly the same as you write. Last time, the graphic calculator is not like that. You have to know which one to put first. The more user-friendly the calculator, the worse it becomes. Okay, what is the answer? Last row. Slow. Wait. Sorry. All. You have to understand, 1, 734. Okay, enough. Okay, so you approximate to 3 significant figure, it will be 187000. Are you clear? Yes. So when the question say evaluate anything, when I say evaluate, means you have all the right to use what? Graphic calculator to evaluate the thing. Okay, so if you want 2 marks, correct? For your SAT 3, correct? Make sure you know how to use this. 2 marks, free gift. Sure got 1 question. Question 1, part D. You want to see the question or not? What now? You go to your practice test, okay? Then you can see. My laptop is here. If I turn, I change to that, then all the question will be reviewed. Okay, so it's the same. It's just that I change the formula only, or I change the expression only. Are you clear? So the expression that I'm going to give you, will it be easy? Definitely no. It will take some time to type in. Do you get me? Hello? Okay. So any further question? No. So we know that if I do a definite integral, okay, if the area is above the x-axis, then it will be represent the area bounded by the curve. Am I right? Okay, so let's have a look at this. If I give you a question like that, I say given y equal to 3/5 plus 2x. Okay, first part, sketch. Huh? The graph of y equal to 3/5 plus 2x for x greater than or equal to 1, but less than or equal to 5. On the graph in 1, shade the area that represents number 3. Find the exact value of this area. Okay, so when you sketch the graph, you know already. Yep. Everyone should know how to sketch your graph. You go to window, you set. So you can start with 0. So you start from 1. When x equal to 1, y equal to 3/7. Then it go down. When x equal to 5, y is equal to 3/15. Okay, so for this case, if you are familiar, you don't even have to use the graphic calculator. Am I right? So for on the graph in part 1, shade the area that represent this. So we know that definite integral means, so this is something that you have to know how to interpret. Area. Sometimes I will ask you what is the meaning of this definite integral. So you have to know that this is area bounded. I mentioned this many times, bounded by the curve y equal to 3/5 plus 2x, straight line, lines, x equal to 2, x equal to 4.5, and the x-axis. Okay, so it will be, here is your 2, and here is your 4.5, and you shade this. So for part 2, you just need to shade it correctly. You don't have to interpret. Are you clear? Unless the question says interpret, then you interpret. Do you get me? Then part 3, you just have to integrate. So when you do a definite integration, we have learned under the fundamental theorem, correct? Okay, you integrate it, you put in a bracket here. So when you integrate this, you get ln. You follow the formula. Yes, Asvindaran, what are you doing? Have you done this part 3? No, but I'm talking, you are looking at your book. Do you think you can follow? Then you have to divide by 2, correct? 2, 4.5. So you always have to substitute the top minus substitute the bottom. So I can put the 3/2 out. Then I substitute the top. If you don't want to calculate, you let your calculator calculate it. Take away ln 5 plus 2 times 2. Okay. If you know you have to substitute like that, you don't have to show me the substitution. You can straight away write down the answer. So this step is not necessary. So, but this step is necessary to communicate with the examiner that you are doing a substitution. You sub with. So you have to do ln 14 minus ln 9. This step is a must. This step not necessary. Are you clear? So this will be equal to 3/2. Okay, make it to a single ln. Ln 14 divided by 9. Sometimes they will ask you to represent the answer in this form. So if you leave here, you won't get full mark. Understand? Hello? Do you get me? So on that note, a very fast one. On that note, you should be able to do exercise 5A. So please, you better chase after the homework. Correct? It's better for you to chase after the homework. That's why when I come to the class, if you don't ask me any question, I will create a question for you to do. Right? If you have done your homework, you have any problem with the textbook question,